So I'm going to be honest here. Kelsey Plum, please, 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 please stop. You are not funny. You are not funny. It is the best advice that I can give because every time Kelsey Plum tries to be funny, it starts World War III on Twitter. Like, first of all, it was the thing. Then it was the we had a meeting about the shirts. Team Caitlin Clark wasn't there, and now this with Aliyah Boston.
Some great bigs, but how cool is it to get the chance to play with Aliyah Boston and the feel that you guys are having for each other?
I mean, I'd be complaining all year about moving screens, and here we are.
No, honestly, stop moving screens. Let's start there.
Aliyah is not happy. She's not happy. Like, that is not like a I'm laughing with you. That is like a basically Angel Wilson obviously being like, oh, she has a special whistle, and then coming out and being like, oh, it's great having a special whistle. Could you imagine if a player on the Breeze came out and said, I don't know what the thumbs up is there for, but could you imagine if a player on the Breeze came out and said, it's great to have the Paige whistle in Unrivaled? Could you imagine if someone said that? Clearly it's a joke, but could you imagine it would start World War III? And I don't know why this thumbs up keeps happening. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, I don't even think Aliyah is the worst for moving screens. It's Alyssa Thomas. And by the way, her former teammate is pretty damn bad for it too. Angel Wilson said some of the movingest screens ever. Like, what was there? Oh, there was one where I think it was Jackie hit a three. Was it on Caitlin Clark? They're like, Caitlin in hell. And it's like Angel Wilson literally moving. She ends up like 2 meters to the left while holding a screen. Caitlin gets through it. She steps and hits her again. It's like, and people are like, is there awful defense? Like, she got hit with about 5 moving screens. But at the end of the day, it's KP saying whatever. AB hilarious. She knows she can see her. KP too awkward. Someone help her. She says it like it is. KP a real one. But that's the thing. It's like they hate Aliyah Boston. So they're like, oh yeah, KP a real one. But God forbid somebody ever says this about Paige. God forbid somebody ever says. And by the way, the moving screen is the hardest foul to call in basketball. It is. But now you've got her teammate basically giving the refs an out. Like, this is, you don't do, if you're competitive, first of all, Unrivaled is a training camp. Unrivaled is not competitive basketball. This is gimmick ball. This is not basketball. This is how to get this is a league that's going to last 3 to 4 years. The heads of the league are going to get themselves paid for a couple of years to play basketball overseas, or to not have to play basketball overseas. They can go and train. They can go train. They get paid more than they did previously in the WNBA. It's good leverage for the CBA. It is a massive conflict of interest, but it's good leverage for the CBA. And the league's not going to make it past 5 years. Like, I'm not going to lie. I was watching the final game today, and it was down to, in fairness, when Paige plays, people watch. People watch when Paige plays. I'll give Paige Bueckers credit for that. People watch when Paige plays. But when Paige isn't playing, they're getting like 1,500 viewers, even at prime time on a Saturday. It's not like, unless Paige Bueckers is playing, nobody gives a fuck. And you got to give Paige some credit there, I guess. Like, Paige is the only player people care about seeing. People will care about watching Aliyah Boston that are the hardest of hardcore Fever fans. But they'll look at it afterwards. I'll give Paige Bueckers fans credit. They're the only ones tuning in to watch this. That being said, like, you don't give the refs an out. You don't, it was like, imagine if, the James Harden, imagine if you played with James Harden. And like, what is it like to have an offensive player like James Harden and going, oh, it's great having a teammate who just never gets called for travels. Like, back when, like, he was very much like, they basically had to change all the rules because he was looking at the letter of the law to see literally what he was allowed to do and also ridiculous shit he could legally do based on the NBA's rules. It would be like saying something like that. And I'm like, you're trying to be funny. You are throwing your current teammate under the bus because you got annoyed playing against her because of something she does in a different league. Like, I get it. She's trying to joke. Aliyah's not happy. Like, Kelsey Plum absolutely just threw her teammate under the bus. And this is the worst part about it, is that I know there was no malice in this. There was absolutely no malice in this. But you can't do that. You just can't. It's literally like, could you imagine, hypothetically speaking, if the Dallas Wings won a game because Paige Bueckers pump faked somebody up, shot a mid-range shot, didn't get fouled, flailed and hit the deck, and came out and said, isn't it great that we have the Paige whistle? Or if Chelsea Gray came out and said, they're like, why after game 5 of the finals, when they called some bullshit stuff on Aliyah Boston on the Fever, the amount of bullshit stuff got called in the Fever in regulation, and saying, we got the Aces whistle. It's great having the Aces whistle, isn't it? Like, could you imagine if they joked about that? But they hate Aliyah Boston, so they'll laugh about it. You shouldn't do that. Just because it's to a perceived op doesn't mean it's right. AB's face, she might tell a joke, but she doesn't tell a lie. Like, that's the problem. That is the problem. Like, with this all, is that I actually, like, as far as Aliyah Boston's moving screens, yeah, she sets moving screens. Every single player in the WNBA does. Not even on the stratosphere of a moving screen from Alyssa Thomas. Like, there's levels to moving screens. Alyssa Thomas is like on a stratosphere herself. I put Aliyah in the age category of, yeah, she moves, but she's a fucking star. Just let her move slightly on a screen. I'm not going to get too annoyed as long as it's called even on both ways. I don't really mind that too much. But at the end of the day, like, she just threw Aliyah Boston under the bus. It's as simple as that. Kelsey Plum just threw her teammate under the bus. Completely accidentally. But just like she threw Breanna, Caitlin, every player on that team under the bus at All-Star Weekend, as far as CBA talks goes, enough that you've got the Caitlin Clark haters that are going by like, oh, she didn't actually want to wear the shirt, this team doesn't care, and all this stuff. You've now got the Caitlin Clark haters who have now become the Aliyah Boston haters because they thought Aliyah Boston was going to, like, basically shun Caitlin Clark and they were going to hate each other, and it was going to be great because it could be South Carolina fans. Most hardcore South Carolina fans have disowned Aliyah Boston because she doesn't hate Caitlin Clark. Like, it's crazy. At the end of the day, and I'm not talking about the players, I'm not talking about Dawn, I'm not talking about the hardest of hardcore fans, but I mean like the on the fence South Carolina fans that are really just, I don't even think they like basketball. I genuinely don't. I think most of the Caitlin Clark haters don't like basketball, like, because nothing's ever about basketball. It's fine. And by the way, Paige Bueckers fans, I'm not talking about yous, because I think you're fucking delusional, but most of the time it's about basketball. I'll give you guys credit for that. Paige Bueckers fans are fucking nut jobs, but most of the time it's about basketball. I'll give you guys credit for that. But still, it's just not good. This is just not a good look for Kelsey Plum. I know there's no malice in it. Doesn't mean it's not a bad look. Anyway, I'll see you guys.